Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening, everybody.
Yes, good evening. Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Hello, everybody.
Come on in. Come on and join us.
Come on in.
Sit down and have a conversation with us.
What did it say? Sit down and rest the spell.
Yes, sit down and rest the spell.
Sit down and rest the spell.
I like that. Rest the spell.
Come on in, everybody. Come on in and welcome.
Yes.
This is Artesian Center of Education and Empowerment, and we are here again on this wonderful Thursday evening for coffee
and a conversation.
All right. And we are just so pleased to be here.
Yeah.
We got Lady K.
Hi.
She better be in here. This is her brainchild, making sure that we keep talking, right?
Yes,
and then
my baby.
We have, of course, back again with us. She was absent. Dr. J. She's back on her post.
Yes,
She's back and speaking low. And Pastor, remember,
yes.
remember they say, yes, there she is.
Project.
So we get them very expensive microphones.
I'm here.
We're here. And of course, I'm Pastor P or Lady P or Patricia. I am Sister Patricia, and I'm here, and we're just so delighted. We're so glad that you've taken this opportunity to come along with us for this conversation. And we have our media team there, back there. Hey, media team! So we're just so pleased that you all took time to join us. And we're going to ask that you like, and what else, y'all?
Share.
Like and you share. That's how we get the word out. And the word is getting out. And we're so glad about it. Because we got something to talk about.
Yes.
I tell you, ladies, it has been I tell you, just to make it back here is such a blessing, isn't it?
It is.
So much is happening in this world.
Yes, it
so
is.
many things. There's just a lot going on.
Yes,
just
it
take
is.
a look at the news. Let's listen to your cultures and conversate. Isn't there a lot happening?
Yes, ma'am.
In the
It
community.
really is. In the community.
In the community, all around.
you.
And so that is why we, Dr. J chose the subject for today. What's our subject today, Dr. J?
Detoxing of the soul.
Detoxing of the soul.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
This is
and
gonna be rich.
This is going to be rich, and I'm going to step real quick because I have to get my book. Y'all keep on talking, talk among yourselves really quick while I get my book.
All right, Dr. J, you're going to give us our topic of detox of the soul.
Detoxing.
Now, by you being that doctor, we know you got the remedy, we know you got the medicine, you got the rub down, you got the think down. Come on now, bring
All
it on.
of the above.
All of the above. So I would be very interested to know, what do you think about when you think about detoxing? So just a little round. We'll just go around. We'll start with you, Dr. J, and go to you, Lady K, and then we'll just see what comes to your mind when you thinking detoxing. So what are you thinking about?
I think about me a few years back.
Mhm.
I decided I needed to detox myself
And what that meant?
of all of the negativity,
Woo!
all of the regrets, how to forgive and move on. Anything that not positive, I had to let it go.
All right.
And hey, throw it all on the table, sort it out, and keep moving.
Okay.
Keep moving.
Now,
moving.
what did something bring that about, or you just said, okay, look, I'm kind of like had enough. This done piled up. This coming is, something coming at you made you feel this way.
Well, it wasn't one thing.
Oh,
It was
okay.
several. I'm trying to juggle my stuff and everybody else's stuff.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Okay.
So I had to decide, I'm dragging everybody else. Tired.
The
moving
negativity was weighing you down?
Yes, moving in motion. So I'm like,
Gotcha.
hey, gotta get a relief.
Gotta get a relief.
So
Did it work?
it worked.
All right. How long did you do
Still
it?
working.
Yeah. How long did you do it?
It wasn't overnight.
Okay.
It wasn't a week.
Okay.
It wasn't a month.
Okay.
You know, it just took me sometimes I just did a little by little. You know, okay, look, not today. I'm dealing with me. Let me call you back.
And you're getting negativity out of your life.
Yes.
What do you think about?
Yes.
Well, I'm glad we had to do this.
Okay.
Because remember, our first topic was boundaries, and I was setting my boundaries. You know, I'm learning to set my boundaries. You know, being able to say no without feeling like. So this detox.
That's been going good for you?
You know what? It really has.
What you say?
Yes, it really has.
I gotta talk to Liz about that.
Yes, it really has.
Okay.
I've even got to the point to where, even in my prayer time, you know, even in my prayer time, listening to, you know, the prayers, not so much trying to put, you know, everything out there, you know, so quick, but being able to, God bless me with 2 ears and 1 mouth, you know, so.
And you don't have to say anything, just meditate.
Yeah, just be still.
That's good. But I'm sorry. I cut you off, but that was just interesting to me.
But this detox comes at a good time, especially when you're trying to, I'm not trying to say line things up, but when you're just really trying to get some of the relief, you know, stop feeling so overwhelmed. And y'all know my favorite one that y'all say to my people please, and I just got to say no. Yes, I'm really tired, but yeah, I'll take it. I really want to do it. I don't feel okay. I'm gonna do it, and then I'll be sitting at the cinema. God, dog, I can be home in my bed, you know. But this detox, this information, I'm taking notes, and I hope to goodness that you will too.
Very good, very good. And actually, when I think of detoxing the soul, I'm sort of on the train, listening to what Lady J is saying, that it means just ridding yourself of the negativity, the weight. And so in preparation for this and understanding that's what we got ready to do, I said, let's talk about what is the soul. If we're talking about detoxing, let's find out what in the world is your soul. And what, you know what I'm saying, and what do you think about when you talk about the soul? And so just a little bit of a definition. You remember I told you, somebody told me one time, all you need is God, Google, and a gun. And so when we just dug up, you know, just a little bit of, just a little Google, and I knew a little bit of what I'm talking about, because we, you know, when talking about the soul and dealing with the soul, but I just did with just a general definition. They say your soul is the center for your emotions, the center of your the intellect, your mind. When they say your mind, your self-conscious, your thoughts, that place, if you were looking at a Greek word, it would be called the suke. That place where all that stuff is stored, that governs how you react. You do things that's centered in your soul. That's why a lot of time when you hear people that have injury or they get triggered, a lot of times because of injuries within their soul, they have to do soul work, get some of that stuff that has been centered and laid out there, right? And so that's what, and then I looked up the word detox and then understanding what detox, and it says, and this is a good point, the removal of toxic substances. Detox is the removal of toxic substances, right? Hey, classmate, we got my classmate, Miss Deidre. How you doing, Sister Deidre? Coming on in. Did you see what she said? Yes. What did she say, Dr. Jane? She. I like it because you right at this table with us, Sister Deidre. Come on here.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
Sister Deidre said, detoxing is changing myself and my surroundings and emptying out the negative and fill myself with positive decisions and actions.
What?
Come on now.
That's good for us to have down in the notes, right? That's good for us to have that. That when whoever comes on, if they're not on this live stream and they tune in later, that's good because I think it matters what you allow to linger and resonate within you, because I think that governs how we respond.
Yes, it does. It really does.
Just like, just not being, just naturally so. If you think about when you're not detoxed, naturally so, you become what? Sluggish.
Yes.
Drained. Tired, right? You become less responsive. You're not quick. When your body is not detoxed, all the things that happen, you begin to get pains in crazy places.
That's true.
Right?
Yes, you do.
So cloudy memory.
Yes.
So I'm thinking if the soul is not detoxed, then what's happening? What? Let's just deal with this, if you would, if y'all don't mind, from what happens when you do have a soul that's toxic.
Ooh.
What happens? What happens? Let's talk about that a little while. Sister Deirdre, you make sure you feed into it. And anyone that's coming on, don't be shy.
That's right.
What happens if you have? This is a conversation. So we want to just sort of lead in, and we're not dealing with right and wrong answers. There's no judgment. But what happens if you got a toxic? Lady Gay?
If you to me, having a toxic soul, you can't function very well. I'm not saying like you won't be able to drive, you won't be able to eat, but you'll be really not being conscious of what you're eating if you're trying to eat right. You'll see cookies, you'll see cake, you'll see pies, you'll see junk, and you'll eat it. And that's feeding that toxin anyway. So junk on top of junk, get it? Junk the toxin. So trying to, do activities or anything, or trying to keep up with your children, or, with situations that you have in life, you're going to have pain in your feet, your leg, your hips, your knees, your wrists, your arm, even so much as your head. You get these headaches, you get these painful, migraines, sometimes even worse than a migraine. You get these painful crook in your neck. Oh yes. How you sleep and you be walking around, hey, how you doing? You doing all right? You be like, well, dog, what's wrong with you? So you get, crooks in your neck, you get backaches, you get very, you may think this is weird, but it's very true also, because I know before I start really trying to detox, my hand, I couldn't even, my hand would sometimes just freeze. Yeah, just stay in place. So all of these things mess with your nerve, mess with your blood, mess with your bones. And remember, your bone has blood going through it. So that's the bone marrow. So your hips, how you get all these hip replacements. People holding on to a lot of stuff. And these things, clog into your blood cell, your bloodstream. And this is the stuff that flows through you. But it's being clogged by these emotions, these toxic feelings
that they could actually impact it. Lady J, what are some of the things when you think about a detox? I mean, a soul that's filled with toxins. What's that evident of? What do you see?
I see a soul fast. Just like you fast with food. You fast in the soul.
Before you giving the solution, I want you to tell me, what does one look like? She was explaining. I want you to tell your part about when you know that there are toxins filled in your system. How is it evident? What is reflective of what you see?
Oh, what is reflective of what I see? I mean, you have
snapping.
a lot. Yeah, you have a lot of pains. Your emotions is like, running, and you like, you spitting out negative.
There you go.
It's nothing,
Nothing positive.
You can't feed on any positive because you're so negative. You only got negativity. That's all you can spit out is negative. Oh no, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk today. Why'd you say that?
Moody. What you say? You're moody.
Yeah.
You can be moody.
Yeah. Your emotion, the least little, or crying. The least little thing hurt your feelings, and you just like
reading and everything. Thinking somebody
why
talking
did they
about
look at
you.
me like that?
What?
I mean,
everybody always talking about me
because it's negative, and that's all you can see, the negative. And they're like, okay, I just walked in and everybody looking at me. What did I do? You know, I know they talking about me. Blah blah blah. No, they ain't even thought
that's
about
because
you. They see you when you come in, but you're not.
But they're not even thinking
you're not
about
the center of their attention.
When I think about when we're talking a toxic buildup, I'm thinking of because what happens with toxins, they can build up in your system, right? And thank you all for joining. Those that are just coming on, this is Artesian Center of Education and Empowerment. It may look like Artesian Christian Center our church, but this is Artesian Center of Education and Empowerment, and we are coming to you all today with Coffee and a Conversation. If you've just come on, please like and please share. Please help us get this word out that we're doing this, and we're discussing today detoxing of the soul, and right now we're talking about what a soul that's full of toxins, what that might look like, and I'm thinking, and this is just, I remember during my marriage, I remember I would respond a certain way with my husband about certain things. I would get offended or snap back at a certain thing, and I remember early on he told me, this is within the first 10 years, 12 years of our marriage, but I remember he said, I'm not the one that hurt you. I'm not the one that hurt you. Wow. And I was responding because of a past or a previous hurt that was not dealt with, that was dwelled there. That was something that built up, that was there. But it caused me, because of what he was doing, to respond to him in a certain particular way, because that particular thing wasn't dealt with. It had built up, and I was answering back from a soul that was filled with a toxin of hurt, a toxin of an injury. You know what I'm saying? And then what happens, we exacerbate it because we put other stuff on it. And you have to be careful, because what happens is, like we said, we become snappy and moody. A lot of times it has nothing. If you all remember Oprah one time, she was saying about sometimes stuff build up. And then that day that the toast is burnt, that's when everything, but it has nothing to do with the burnt toast.
It don't have nothing to do with it.
But it's because things have built up, so that's the one straw that what it did. It broke it. And then everything comes, I just said, good morning, Kim, why you crying? What happened?
The juice is sour.
Look at the juice.
When it used to be so sweet.
Look at but you think about that,
just said past hurt.
Hurt.
Now that's another thing too. Even now, with when you try to tell someone that you see them coming and you've seen how they've acted, and they need to let it go, but they won't let it go. They sleeping with this hurt. They sleeping with this pain.
That's building.
It's building. And just like you said, when he came at you, he said, I'm not the one that hurt you. And you could have been like, but yes, you are.
But I knew exactly what he meant. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But it's some people that would be in denial.
And see, but this is why I think
they don't want to let it go.
They don't want to let it go. This is why the detoxing. Did you read what Sister Deidre says? Having a toxic soul, but I think it takes over your thoughts. Her thoughts were in a dark place, which caused my abuse to come into play. See, that's that part. And it caused this lost relationship. It caused it can cause incarceration. And it was like living in a dark abyss, being sucked into sheer darkness. And this is something that when it's toxic, it's poisonous. It begins. It doesn't allow it yourself to breathe. What I say, breathe freely.
Yes.
It doesn't allow you to get the what you need to come in and flow, because you're filled with such, what's that word you used earlier? Negativity in all its forms. And so when we recognize that we are operating from that we're a toxic place,
yes,
and that we're filled with toxins, then it becomes necessary to do something about it. Which is where we are now. We're talking about detoxing.
Detoxing. You have to cleanse it.
Toxic buildup is deadly. Sister Kath, that's my dear friend from up there from Virginia. You are so right. Hey, Sister Kathy, God bless you. Love you. Listen, it is deadly. It is deadly because it is, and and I should have wrote it down, but you know, stress, if you're really dealing with it, which is a toxin, okay, will literally attack the weakest places in your natural body.
In your natural body. Yes. Yes.
That's true.
Did you know that? It will literally attack the weakest places in your natural body. And so you have to be careful. So a lot of times, if we're going through weird sicknesses or weird bouts of stuff, and it seems like we get something and can't get over it.
Yes.
A lot of times you may think it may not be so natural as it is soulish.
Yes.
Ooh. Ooh.
Good.
Ooh.
That's good.
Ooh.
Hashtag
Ooh.
soulish.
Soulish.
Yes.
Soulish.
Like
SOULISH. Soulish.
Foolish.
It may be soulish in dealing with what is it that I need to here we go, like you say, detox from.
Yes.
Because as I was reading and looking up, it was talking about liver. Your liver is the thing that you detox from, that you know, when your liver can push that stuff out, you know, all that stuff, the impurities out of your system.
Yes.
And when you have a good detox, you feel better, you see better. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone.
And you think better.
And you think better. And you think better.
Yes.
You think better.
So, Sister Kim.
You think better.
Feel lighter.
Sister Kim, start with you. Steps to detoxification. Steps to detoxification.
My personal steps, like
No, well, I mean, we're discussing steps to detox. Or if you're waiting on steps, we're going to go get them. So, but I'm saying,
this is what I needed in order, because remember, I put my boundaries down. I got to stop saying yes all the time. And that was one of the things that was making me very overwhelmed. That was also stuff that was, you know, making me feel like I could not slow down. But the moment that I started putting those boundaries up, I find myself slowing down.
So setting boundaries is one way to help start a detox.
Yes, ma'am.
Literally, you know, setting up certain boundaries. Pastors come on and he said, live a detox life. You know, he always going to go to the end of things. He said, live a detox life. Because we are constantly changing. Change is constant, but we change every day for the better. We're looking to change for the better, not the worse, which is the part we're going to. We're trying to, in this empowerment, because remember, we're in the Empowerment Center,
right.
and this is all about empowering us to make steps that make you better. And our hopes is that in our prayer that we were so busy about today, that the Lord, and that you all will get something from this right here. That the Lord will guide our thoughts, and that you will get what you need. And we're thankful for that. Right?
Thankful.
We're very thankful that we will get what we need. And that from this session, even if you go back and listen to it, it's gonna like, you know what, I'm glad I stopped in there today to hear this conversation. It's all about coffee
and a
conversation. And like I said, there's no judgment zone. It's about expressing the opinions and also bringing to the forefront, because we know that there's some toxic folks out there. There's some toxic folks out there. And when we're talking about, I was listening today, and I heard Iyanla. Y'all ever heard of Iyanla Van Zandt? Have y'all heard of Iyanla Van Zandt? And I saw a little meme with Iyanla Van Zandt, but she said something that was so, like, it just stopped me. I said, I gotta write this down because I'm gonna take this tonight. Okay. But she said that we are not responsible, or never hold yourself responsible for someone else's misbehavior.
Wow.
Never hold yourself responsible for somebody else's misbehavior. If they misbehaving, on, you know what I'm saying. So, you know, sometimes we'll step in that, but you don't hold, and it says, and you don't have to be, and listen to what she said, you don't have to be loyal to anyone that treats you badly.
Say that.
That was I can't take responsibility. But that's what Eon Levan that's what Eon Levan said. And that just took me to say, we don't, a lot of times we're talking about the ways to release, and to detox, is that, we are holding ourselves responsible for someone else acting up and doing what they're not supposed to do. And then we're taking the weight of that. Instead of allowing them to stand up on their own and saying, wait a minute, listen, I can't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, I'm not talking about our minor children, but I'm talking about grown folks.
Yes.
I'm talking about grown folks. Now, we're to raise up and train up our children in the way they should go. But grown folks.
Grown folks. Not my 12-year-old.
No, I'm talking about grown folks. Period. Grown folks. Grown folks. Not your grandkids, not just speaking, but the grown folks. The grown folks that's raising them. The grown folks that did. The grown folks. Our grown children. Our grown folks. That we can't be responsible. We can't hold out. Or the people we work with, the people we engage with. Or, you know what I'm saying? They misbehaving, but we wearing it.
Yeah. Dragging it around. Dragging it around.
Anyway, Dr. J.
No, but seriously, no. This is all up. I paused to look at you, but I'm not really looking at you. I'm looking.
I understand.
I'm you the proverbial person that's standing there.
I understand.
No, but you know what I'm saying. She's just. I'm really. Y'all get it.
We get it.
Look, we get it.
I mean, you can't be irresponsible for somebody's actions, even though they try to,
That's that boundary thing.
Yes.
Make you think it's your fault.
Say that now. Did they hear that, Dr.
They'll even try to convince you it's you.
Oh, now that's a narcissist.
And stand on it.
If I had listened at this table, I have her explain to me let y'all hear the textbook definition of a narcissist, and that's what they do to make it think that it's you, not it ain't me, it's you.
Yeah, they do. They really do.
They really do. How they gonna convince you? They're gonna convince you.
How you treated me when you didn't come to when I
called you
this
and to make me feel
by myself.
Where was you?
Where was you?
That's it. That's it.
That's
it. Now
you ain't cooked that pot of cabbages. If you had cooked that pot of cabbages for me, then I wouldn't have had to go over there to Kentucky Fried Chicken. I could stay home.
That wasn't Kentucky Fried, but anyway, we're gonna get off that. Anyway,
no, but you understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Because then I wouldn't have had to go out there. Wait a minute,
but she just blame you. Now, ain't that what
that's what I'm saying. As it relates to how people will, turn it around.
Actually, guilt trip you.
Wow.
Oh.
Now that's a big one. Yeah. Nobody really looks at it as being guilt tripped. They just look at it like, look, this is how I feel, and you gonna listen. I'm serious, they do. I said this, and well, you don't really want to hear me. Yes, I do. I hear you, but do I really have to sit here and listen to this foolishness that you made the choice? Nobody else brought you. Thank you. You did this. So why are you trying to make it seem like it's me that did it when I know, hey, don't the word say free will?
But one part of that is also, then that makes me know also that I'm going to be big girl and I'm going to stand up under my actions as well. If I'm looking for you to stand up under yours, then I have to stand up under what's my responsibility as well.
But will your responsibility be to turn the other cheek because they're acting ugly?
Now, see, I'm gonna tell you what you're gonna see. I gotta be nice and try to say something real spiritual, but I'm gonna tell you about that cheek thing after a while. But we're gonna talk about it. Can we table that cheek thing? Because it's a whole long subject. No, because that cheek thing has got a whole paragraph. As a matter of fact, it's a book or chapter up under that.
No, we'll just leave a pen right there.
Because I'm gonna tell you about the cheeks. I'm sorry, how many cheeks they think us Christians are supposed to have. But we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
Dr. J, we're talking about the solutions now. Because we don't have about a good a little while left, and we want to really deal with the solution for some of the solutions of detoxing the soul.
Yes.
Because we know what a toxic soul look like.
Yes, we do.
Some of us, because we know what that means, and we know what it feels like. Yes. And we want, in case you hadn't been enlightened, this is Artesian Center of Education and Empowerment. So we want to empower you today on how to detox your soul.
Get it out.
Oh, thank you. So how to things and tools that you can use and how to get started with it.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
We're not psychologists or psychiatrists.
No, we're not.
Well, we just hope they've been through some things. We just hope that some. Hey, we folks. Listen to Sister Deirdre and what she says, which is good. She says some steps of detoxing will separate. She gonna go there. You gonna go there, right? You want me to read it? Sister Deirdre, you want me to read it? I'm gonna read it. It says some steps to detoxing was separating people, places, and things. Remove them and replace them with positive people. Because negative people, you know, I often tell folk, be careful who's in your ear. Hey, be careful where, you know, what your ear gates, guarding your ear gates, your eye gate. Be careful who's influencing you. Yes. And surrounding myself with a close relationship with Jesus and starting listening to his instructions and following his direction, working and what she say? And accomplishing goals that were once set aside. This keeps the focus of actually seeing all the good that I'm able of doing by staying in a detox state. Sounds like you've been doing some soul work, girl. And doing it daily. Now that's what Pastor talking about. She said, and doing it daily. Daily. Because we have to go to the restroom daily.
Yes, daily.
Because if you're not going daily,
they want to.
What's wrong with you?
When you don't go,
it's not functioning.
It's not functioning right. If you're not, because what happens is if your kidneys are not filtering,
they gotta filter.
If it's not filtering, what happens, Dr. J? You start swelling.
Yes.
Your ankles start swelling. You notice that's what happened. If your kidneys are not functioning like they're supposed to, you start your ankles and things start swelling.
Yes.
You just start swelling and tingling, and hands and stuff start swelling.
The toxins
because the toxins are building up. So the first thing we have to do is separate from negativity. That's one.
That's one.
Cast it down.
Separating from negativity. Now, y'all, that's a whole serious.
That's good.
That's a whole serious word when you say separate. Because some people don't want to separate. They don't. But during the separation, what can you separate from? So that would be the second thing. What are you separating yourself from?
Negativity.
But see, that's a big word. But you gotta.
You want me to break it up?
Yes. You know, because the negativity could be.
Okay, but listen. Let me see. I'm gonna tell you the negativity that's within your control. Okay, the negativity, because what if you work in a negative place and you need your paycheck? So it's not necessary that you can just necessarily just separate it all together. So you have to get into a middle place.
Yes.
And set up some parameters, that boundary stuff, whereas you're able to function within those 8 hours that you have to be in that space.
Yes.
Right?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But see, this is when, and pardon me if I do get just a tad bit spiritual. He said, I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me. Okay, so you're going to need a little extra strength to have to deal with an area you don't want to be in.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
You're
going to have to deal with that. And what if it's in your home?
But still, you have to put, God is there. You still got to put him at the head.
Yeah.
So, because sometimes it's easy to separate from someone you don't live with or someone you don't work with.
Right.
You don't have to pick up the phone. Yeah. But if you have to go home to it, or if you have to go to work with it, or if then you have to think of where do you go in your mind.
Yes. That's
heart and mind. They work together.
That's true.
But where do you go? So where do it's distinguishable, but where do you go? How do you deal with that? And he said, and I go to this thing where it says that you have to seek peace and pursue it. You got to find that place of peace.
Yes.
Now,
especially when somebody comes looking for you.
Because I didn't come looking for you.
You came looking for me.
That part.
And they're coming in your space. But see, this is what someone told me before. Sometimes you can't stop the birds from flying over your head.
Can't do that.
But what can you do? You can stop them from making a what?
Nest.
You can stop them from making a nest.
Yes.
So even though I'm having to deal with you in I'm not gonna let you get into my. I'm you know, that's the part. I'm not gonna let you infiltrate my mind and my spirit.
Right.
I may have to contend with you, and I may be smiling. And all the while I'm smiling, I'm saying I got my affirmation and my prayer going on in my head.
That's right.
No weapon formed against me shall prosper.
Now that's
Now I'm being a little churchy.
No, but hey.
Sometimes I can't help it. Don't
Exactly.
can't
But
stop
that's what
them
get us
from
through.
forming.
That's the preacher in me,
But
right?
no, but that's what get us through.
Yeah.
That's what gets
That's
you
what
through.
gets
And
you
that's
through.
what gets you through the spaces that you cannot escape. You have to formulate within yourself that place of peace. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know, he said that, you know, that he will give us a peace that surpasses all understanding, and that it will guard your heart and mind.
Yes.
And some people, what they do in order to get straight for it, you know, before they have to go into that situation, they arm themselves.
Yes.
You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
I do.
You gather themselves. That's just like if you got to, you know, you know what I'm saying. You have to, if you know you got to eat something spicy, you take a what you call it, one of those
Antacid.
antacid. You take it before you have to eat it
Make preparation.
to make preparation for it. So some things that, you know, okay, I know I'm just a little, so let me go ahead and make preparation for it. It's not the best way to do, but sometimes you have to take that antidotal thing prior to getting there. Let me go ahead and set the rudder. Let me go ahead and do an extra, because I know how it is. Let me go and get that little place, that little meditative place. Maybe I have to pray a little harder. The ultimate, the pastor say, the ultimate cleanse is the word of God. What do you say?
Can't live without it.
What Sister look what Sister Deidre say. Look at what she says.
When your mind is in a peaceful state, you can go
Through that.
through that.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
But it has to start there, because
Gotta start there.
if you don't take the time, okay, I know this is, I know what this is, and you know, and sometimes when you're being set upon, okay, picked out to be picked on, sometimes you feel it, and so sometimes it is, you have to prepare yourself for the battle or
You do.
prepare yourself for the war if you can't take yourself out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to go ahead and govern yourself. Get your affirmations. Get your mind put in the rightful place, and not let that stuff get in you.
Not get in you. Because you
They're trying to make you. They're trying to make you jump. Jump, please.
but still it's going right back to the source. You know, you have to focus on what God is doing in your life.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you something, Dr. J. How is it that when we're detoxing, what tools are we using to detox, and what tools are we turning down or turning off to help us with this detox? Because I know sometimes that, you know, we can't get to a book, you know, when we drive, we play our book, you know, in our car, auto, you know, listening, you know, listening to the books, watching TV, you know, listening to sermons, watching YouTube, listening to sermons. But now, the steps to be able to do this detox, we know the first one was to identify that, you know,
You have it.
yeah, I have it. You know, I'm hurting.
I'm hurting.
You know, and that's another thing.
My ankles are swollen.
Yes, you know, my body is, you know, something
Reacting.
You know, I went to the doctor. The doctor said she ain't find nothing. But then when I go home, didn't I tell y'all?
Your
Move!
emotions.
You in my way. You're not driving.
Your emotions.
Who gave you driver's license? Oh my gosh! Move! Or you know, I don't want it. This is so nasty. I don't want to eat this. Who fixed this? You know, these are the things. But give
Pastor
me
cooked
some
that, didn't she?
steps. I try not to throw food in there. I really do. Y'all really gotta believe me. I try. If you notice, that was the last thing I said. Who cooked this? But give me, I mean, if you possibly can, just give me some steps to be able to, you know, my TV, my.
But for me, you know, I just, you know, just tune everything out.
Because you did it for 40 days, didn't you?
Yes.
You did for 40 days?
For 40 days. I remember it was a very deliberate detox.
Yes.
First time I really heard that.
I just turned everything and everybody. I just tuned them out.
It wasn't really TV, but it was people. It was big.
It was, you know, you gotta renew.
And it was the way you interacted with
and
it
your
too.
heart, yes, in your heart.
Okay. I remember it was a lot of it because I watched you through it. It was the way you interact through it. I didn't notice that she necessarily, because she was still doing stuff she did. But I noticed this is one thing because we talked about it when you go. Because I sort of watched her, Sister Kim. Thank you, dear. I sort of watched her because I was going to see whether she gonna make it or not. It wasn't.
You can tell people that you're detoxing.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I'm serious. You can tell.
Oh, you should.
You're not trying to keep it.
But because it's not like you're doing like a consecration on a fast or something. But this was when I was watching because you did it for Lent, and you said I am going to detox my soul. And I remember you said when you got these calls. And you say it almost, some people try to pull you how you refuse to go there, how you would make a point. You go, they would try to draw you in and say, oh, listen, I can't talk about it. I'm not going to talk about that today. Listen, whatever. Okay, we'll talk about it later. How she literally was, this is how you were telling me, call me next week, or we'll talk about it later. Listen, let me go pray about it. She literally cut them off and some things were family, some things were extra, like outside of family. Wow. Because I remember something had happened with the.
Very personal.
I think some things had happened with the. Was it the light bill people? Yes. Somebody they didn't get your how they didn't get your stuff. Wrong. I mean, seriously, it was just like they say.
It was a lot.
It was a lot. And I remember she said, it almost pushed me, but I just dealt with it. I smiled right through it. I dealt with it. I took care of it. And that was that part where I refused to let it get in me.
Oh, gotcha. I understand. Because at first, keep it out. Because at first, I was under the assumption until you said that part, keep it out. I was under the assumption that fake it till I make it.
No,
that's.
I hate to say it like that. To have a pity party.
But that's a positive affirmation.
It's easy to have a pity party.
No, but I'm just saying.
Why?
But somebody would take it like you going through this and you ain't mad. You'd be like,
oh, they did.
Yes. But then some would look at from the outside if they were not having that spiritual, deep.
Oh, they were looking like.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they were looking for you to respond a certain way. Exactly. I remember you said that they were looking for you to come up with, Joe, look here, Joe. What he said? Joanne Nunley from wherever you from down yonder, and the was coming up. They were finna draw you out. But when you didn't react the way that they typically, they were like, who is that? Who that person?
Wow.
Is that really you?
Oh my!
They did it.
They did. I remember specifically.
So these steps.
I know they look.
Hey, they'll even go and get popcorn. Okay, it's good. It's hot.
Because they know that. Because they know. Oh, they gonna say. But you deliberately.
I'm waiting on it. I'm like, you know what? It ain't
What?
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Wow.
I'll see y'all later.
How did you feel? I mean, like after you got finished with it, how did you feel? Did you feel like, oh, I really did it, or? I need to try some more.
I knew I was going to do it before I started it.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Confidence.
Yes.
But I know you almost got pulled because you told me you almost got pulled. And you told me, and the thing what got me was the fact that you said that you were conscious about it. That was another thing. That first part, there was a consciousness that I'm not going to jump the way I previously jumped. So I'm not going to do things the way I
always done it or purposely
been doing
it. So the thing that I'm getting from this is for me. The thing that I'm getting from this is just like you said, you're being really in tune and in touch with you. Yeah. Nobody had to say, oh my gosh, you know how nobody showed you, nobody spoke on it. It's like your mirror, you holding this mirror and you're saying, yeah, I act like that. Yeah, I do that when, she does this or when she says that. But you know what? The outcome of it when you did that, you didn't want it to happen again.
So what I pulled again is another one. that you have to have a consciousness about it.
Yes.
There must be a deliberateness about it.
Yes.
You know, you must be very deliberate about what you're trying to do, and that you have to be willing to put out the negativity. You have to be willing to not engage when, and we, like you say, negativity is a big word, but I'm gonna look at negative as anything that upsets your peace, anything that takes you out of where you know what you're trying to ultimately accomplish. Just like you, no, but just like
even just complaining,
just like you told me, you said gluten.
Yes, ma'am.
Remember how you told me about gluten?
Yes, ma'am.
You said that's my enemy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And you say, I know what gluten does. So you avoid gluten.
Yes, ma'am.
You'll even ask the question, that guy's such a, oh, I can't bother that. And literally, I think on the natural tip, on the spiritual tip, the soul, that we have to do the same thing.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
you finna that's gonna have
it's good too.
that's gonna get in my.
Yes. And see that was nice how you did that. How you said that when we eat when I'm eating something and how I know it affects my body. Just like if I can be around somebody that I know is gonna cause trouble or gonna cause an issue, and I'm like, oh no, I'm going this way. You know, I'm not gonna go over there. Oh hi, how are you? But I'm going this way because I know, like you said, I don't want it to get in me because I know how to make me feel. My heart pound. You know, my sweating, and it's the anxiety.
And you know what? Then one of the things is saying, I know that this is going to put me in a state of mind, a state of being, whether it's people, whether it's a thing.
Yes.
You know, some people have to stay away. That thing's bothering you, ain't it?
No, I know it's got to be bothering your neck because that's why you do like this. So.
But you know what? It is that, for instance, there are certain things you may not be able to. I remember one time I cut myself off from watching those different housewives shows.
You watch those?
I did. It was good entertainment. That's just entertainment. And that was the one. But I'm tell you, but the reason why, because I remember because we used to have this discussion. I said, there's enough drama around. I don't need to incorporate myself. I need to live I even, withdrew from watching so. But yeah, that's what it was. But I even stopped like with the news. Like I'm a news junkie. At one time I was a news junkie. Yes. But all that 24/7, all that constant over and over, it was filling my system up and it was messing with me. And so I had to, because it's important to stay up on stuff, but that constant feeding of it into my. As much as I love it, I'm my major in college I'm a political science major. One of my majors was political science, and I love politics, but I had to step away from that because it was literally having me talking at the TV, talking back, and then especially this last. Anyway, it was just I'm just going and you know what I'm saying. It was taking me. That I couldn't be at peace.
So in other words, you didn't guard your gates. You didn't
guard none of your gates. I had to remind myself. I had to first become, what was that word you used? Awareness. Having awareness. Let peace be your number one priority. That's right, Sister Deirdre. It has to be. It has to be. He said to guard your heart and your mind. Yes. Which that mind is that soulish place. It will, you have to, and if we understand that it is my responsibility to guard my peace. Yes. And something we can't entrust that to nobody else. And if we're looking for them to, we sort of out of,
it ain't gonna work. That's just like you trying to get somebody, make me happy. Come on, I'm sad. Make me happy. Make me smile. How can you do that?
I'll sing you happy.
Come
on, sing me happy.
But can I tell you this? People look for you to do that.
That's exactly right.
They really do.
And they're out of order.
They really. I've had such a bad day, and it's, oh, you know, I called her, and she just, oh, well, what did she not do for you that I could do for you? And then the moment you come over there, I just took myself out of my boundary to help somebody when I'm making myself miserable.
Right. Unless that's your assignment. And see, that's the difference. You know, some people who are encouragers, in which I'm a born encourager, I know that's what I do, you know, but my husband had to set me straight one time because he said, now remember, you're not Jesus. You're not supposed to carry the weight. You know, he said, cast my cares, your cares on me. Yes. Not they casting their cares on you. Are you the point? I can point them to Jesus. So I was trying to carry stuff. And what was that doing? Weighing me down.
Yes, it was.
You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm encouraged. So what I've learned, I learned to say my encouraging words, boost people in the way, and let them point them to the way. Because people will throw stuff on you. Yes. You can become their trash can. Yes. They can get all their junk and throw it on you.
Yes. And that thing right there is the detoxing. You know, it's very toxic. Being able to know that I'm trying to put myself out there for you, him, her, and nobody's giving back. You know, nobody's, you know, how they say, I'm pouring all of this out, I'm giving all of this, but I'm also taking on what you're giving me. So if that's what you're giving me, that's pouring in, I hate to say it, you're giving me your anger, I'm going to be angry. You're giving me your sadness, I'm going to be sad. You're giving me your loneliness, I'm going to be lonely. So these are the things that people are not really realizing, especially I'm talking to me, I'm not just talking to you, especially me, that I've set myself with other people that are lonely, felt broke, felt busted, felt disgusted, and I picked that up and dumped it in me, then now I feel busted, disgusted, broke. Yes. So trying to detox myself, turning the TV off, turning my social media off, because those things are influencing. Because people do sit there and they try to say, oh, their life is better than mine. Oh, look at her.
And if it does that, and see, this is the thing where you go with that word balance again. If you're out of balance with any of those things, some people know how to go into social media and know it's all, most of it can be fake. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even. But some people, that's their soul. That's their whole thing. You know, they feel But when you have, exactly. But when you understand that this is nothing but entertainment, and when you see it that way and you don't let it consume your life, then some people are able. But if it's something just like people about drinking, or something else, some people, they know reason why. You know, some people are able to just take and I'm not purporting to no way, but I'm just saying they can do what they call a social whatever, and just go home and nothing. But some people can take it and it becomes a whole addiction, or it becomes, you know what I'm saying. It becomes a whole problem. So some people are just, and they got it. So it's best not to even walk down that road, right? So I'm just saying. It's what becomes, give me one piece of red velvet cake and I'm about to try to eat the half of it. So you got to be careful. I'm just saying, I ain't picking on folks.
So we have real.
Say it real.
No, what I'm saying is too much, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Out of balance?
Yeah. I understand. I do. So now.
So I mean, if I can't
eat in moderation.
Everything, that first word that we said today, that takes us from one of our first parts where it says balance. It's almost one of the main things that we're gonna have to do is make sure we understand the balance, that thing that balances our life. Yes. When it was too much of this or too much of that, or we're letting any number of people influence us in a negative way, or take us where we're not supposed to go.
Yes, that part.
That's good.
That part. And I think, and again, this is Artesian Center of Education and Empowerment. This is a coffee and a conversation, and that we've been discussing detoxing of the soul and the things, and we hoping that, if this is really touch you in a way to make you think and make you feel that if you're taking on more weight and you're taking on more, and your soul is full of toxins, poisons, and things that's weighing you down spiritually, mentally, physically. You need to release.
Yes.
You need to release, and let's start again and be mindful. I think that was another word that was you of what are the influences in your life.
Right.
Be mindful of what are the things that do a what we say, do a whole reflection, right? Do that's the good word. That's what do an evaluation. If every time I'm around this person, I feel weighted, I feel bad.
Yes.
Every time I'm in this situation, or when I spend too much time doing this, or if I whatever, do a self-evaluation. Just like when they tell you, and we associate a lot of this with the natural, when they tell you when they're trying to see what allergies that you may have, they tell you to keep a diary.
Yes, they do. They tell you to write it down.
They tell you to write it down. So how did you do? Because when I ate that, that's when I started. Or when I did this, when I started. Yeah, exactly. And so when you keep the diary, the evaluation, then you can know, oh no, it's this. It's gluten. It's what you say. It's gluten that blows me up. It's salt. Whatever the case may be. These are things. Oh no, it's MSG. I ate that thing and then that MSG. I'm just saying. And so when you know, then you can do something about it, which is the whole consciousness that we bring to the table. We want you to be able to understand and do something about it. That's what it's all about. So we are just so glad that you enjoyed. We enjoyed you being with us, and we hope that you enjoyed. And so as we get ready, we want to leave you with our positive pop. We want to leave you with some kind of encouraging word related to what we talked about today. And we'll start with Lady J and go to Lady K, and now of course I end it. But go ahead, dear.
Just stay positive. Know you. Don't let nothing or nobody disturb your peace.
Yes.
Stay focused on it.
Very good.
That is good.
That's very good.
We're not trying to outdo each other now.
No.
I really like what you said. I really like what you said.
That's me.
My positive pop is be mindful. Be very mindful of your self-evaluation that you are doing. You're not asking another person. You're not asking the husband. You're not asking the children. You're not asking family members. You are turning this mirror and you're analyzing, you're evaluating yourself. Yourself. Be mindful of yourself.
My positive pop is for you to know, and for all of us to know, that you're worth it. You're worth the work. You are valuable.
Yes.
You are worth putting in what it takes to make it so that you can live life to the fullest, so you can live your best life. Right? We don't want you altered or kept down by anything other than when you sit down, if you need to sit down. But we want you to be able to, and we want all of us to live our best life. And any hindrances, we want to, as I heard Sister Kim say, be mindful. Be mindful. Do that self-evaluation so that you can get the best out of it. Because God wants the best for us, and you need to want and we all need to want the best for ourselves. Right? And to be empowered to get the best for ourselves. And it's within your power.
It is.
To get it done. This is no big, I'm saying, we're not asking for anything very difficult. It's just to start with the simple things. As we said, balance. Doing your self-evaluation, sort of making sure you recognize the negative flows of things wherever it's coming from. Back away from them if possible. Things that you can't, just not allow it to get in you. right? And just work through it and keep up, and those of us who are spiritual, we know that we keep the word of God close to us. We know that we do the affirmations. I often say affirmations do work. It does matter when you get there and you reaffirm who you are, what you are, and what God has for you. They are very extremely important. So motivate yourself. Get stirred up for it, because it's going to be great.
Yes.
And so again, we're just so delighted. It's 8 o'clock. We want to give a big old shout out to Pastor Harold Edwards, who's also our director.
Thank you.
Just please, we also want to give a big shout out for you and especially you. And we just want you to join us again on next Thursday. We know it'd be good for us to give you an advanced word, but we don't know it. So, but we will find out, and we look forward to you all joining us again. Have a blessed and wonderful week. And remember, God loves you, and especially you. Have an awesome and wonderful week.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Have that coffee.
Shantina,
And
hey, my sister Ronya.
Hey, that coffee
Alabama.
That coffee and a conversation. Yes.